And welcome in. It's a beautiful afternoon in the middle of the NCAA tournament to talk football. What's up, Gonzo the Beast? What's up, Stacking the Box fans nationwide? And welcome to. Hold on a second. There, got to click off my YouTube because I'm hearing myself. Ren Daxt is my guy. There is no one better covering football / the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Pewtercast is amazing. And Ren, you guys are the star of the offseason once again. You knew, did you not, deep down, somehow, some way, Tom Brady was going to come to his senses and realize there's nothing more fun in life than playing sports, than playing football, than being really good at something and have everybody love you. And that why would you quit when you're nearly the MVP of the league? This all made sense to me at the time. I predicted it, Ren, just so you know, but I'm sure you were right with me.
I was not. And neither were Bucks fans. We're realists down here. I think we've only had like 7 winning seasons out of 40. So things don't tend to go our way through free agency, the draft, or albeit Tom Brady. If you're new to NFL football, you don't have no idea what I'm talking about because we won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and last year we won 13 games, tied for the best record in the NFC. I thought it was done. Less than a week ago, we were talking about, trading for Baker Mayfield. We are talking about how many games we can win with Blaine Gabbert, who's not even on the team still, but he's been the backup here for since Bruce Arians has been here. Is Kyle Trask ready, who we drafted in the second round last year from Florida? Is he ready to take the mantle? Is our center Ryan Jensen coming back? Or is our shutdown corner Carlton Davis coming back? Is Gronk coming back? Like, we had lots of problems, and we were putting on the brave face because we trust in our general manager, Jason Light. But yeah, and then the day before you talked about the NCAA tournament opened up, Brady broke the internet, and we went from, we'll probably win the division because everyone else stinks, to it's us in Green Bay and the Rams, and 3 will enter, 1 will leave.
So it's really interesting that one, you're still, I think the impact of being a Bucks fan, Ren, is still on you despite the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Uh, you know, you haven't shed all the layers. Uh, so you're still expecting the worst, and you're getting the best in the goat. I've seen like some conversation out there that people are tired. They're Tom Brady tired. They're Brady fatigued. They've had enough. You had done enough. It was time to go. Did anybody in Tampa feel that way, to your
No,
knowledge?
no, not at all. And I'm active on Twitter, and everyone that follows me and I follow, it's all Bucks fans. There's no politics on my Twitter feed. There's no basketball, a little bit of baseball, big Rays fan, a little bit of hockey, big Lightning fan. But it's all Bucks 24/7, 365 on Twitter. And no one was like that. But I understand it because before Tom Brady came to the Bucks, I was one of those people. Like, I was tired of hearing about the Patriots. I was like tired of hearing, but yes, we know he's great. Like, before that, the Bucks would be lucky to get a 15-minute segment on any, NFL show, either on ESPN or NFL Network or any type of sports channel once a week. And now we open the show, 5 minutes later is another segment about the Bucks, 10 minutes later is another segment about the Bucks, and they close the show with the Bucks. So if you're not a Bucks fan, I absolutely get it. I apologize, kind of. But I've been in the shoes. But as far as the fans in Tampa Bay, no, there was never this, oh, I'm tired of hearing Tom so much, just get out of here. Like, good riddance. Like, I'm just Tom fatigued. Like, none of that whatsoever. Not even a hint or a whisper from Bucks fans.
Yeah, that's and good on Bucks fans. Listen, the dude can still play. Maybe he can go until he's 50. A lot of people, though, expect him, or at least some people expect him to end up in San Francisco. Do you look at this as his last year in Tampa, no matter what, even if even
Um,
if he keeps going?
Maybe, I don't know. Here's what we're saying down here. We got a really good reporter has been following the Bucks for decades. He's starting to get a lot of national pub. Like, when Brady came back, he did the trifecta. He did Dan Patrick, he did Rich Eisen, and he did Colin Cowherd all in the same day. His name's Rick Stroud. I listen to his podcast. He's probably the most well-connected beat reporter out there for the Buccaneers. We also have some very good ones. Greg Auman, Jen Lake, of course, who works for ESPN. But Rick's kind of my guy, and he put something out there on his podcast, and I kind of I fall in line with on his thinking on this. Is San Francisco had a chance to draft him, back when we were all in diapers and dinosaurs roamed the earth, however long ago that was, when Brady, he had that chance. He wanted to play there. Then when he became a free agent, it has not been disputed and has been floated that Brady actually called the Niners. And there was that barbershop episode where, you're sticking with that bleeping guy, so the Niners chose Garoppolo over Brady then. And Rick Stroud kinds of things like there's no way that Tom Brady is going to let, San Francisco say no to him again. Like, let them have a third bite of the apple. If he goes on and plays somewhere else, San Francisco would probably be a likely landing spot, but I don't think that, and I don't think Tom Brady plays another snap of football for anybody else, because the Bucs have done everything and will do everything they can. They will kick the can down the road salary cap wise, as we've seen the past 2 years, which is something they never have done, especially under Jason Light. And they keep mortgaging the future, kind of like the Saints did when they had Drew Brees, to get everything that Tom wants and push all in every single year till Tom's here, because he is on a year-by-year basis. So to answer your question, I'm going to say no. If I would be surprised that if he plays for any other team, simply because, they give him everything he wants. He likes Bruce Arians, all that stuff about their relationship wearing thin is garbage. And no state income tax, and he likes it here. And he's, it's really nice. He loves it. And, he's got Gronk, and every time they ask for a guy, they go and get him.
So you expect Gronk back then?
Yeah, there's a video that's been going out. He was someone captured at sort of like this local barbershop just yesterday. And someone asked Gronk, like, you coming back? Gronk being Gronk, like, well, it's a very, very good possibility, but I'm going to make him sweat because he made me sweat for 3 months. And so, yeah, Gronk's coming back.
Get the gang back together. And Chris Godwin gets 3 years, $60 million, with 40 guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like Bucs fans are thrilled about the Godwin move as well. Look, he needs people to throw to, and he's got a good one there. So, but like, if Brady doesn't come back, Godwin's playing elsewhere, right?
No, absolutely not. No, he was already under the franchise tag. And it's, if any player in the Bruce Arians, Jason Light era, as far as the offense is concerned, Chris Godwin is the engine, is the oil, is the transmission fluid. Everything runs through Chris Godwin. Mike Evans, great receiver, 1,000 yards every time he laces them up. Has been 9 years now, going for 10 years in a row, getting 1,000 yards. But Godwin is the guy playing in the slot that makes the Bruce Arians offense go. Just like when Larry Fitzgerald, when Bruce Arians, they were together and they moved, Fitzgerald into the slot. If you don't have a guy that can do the dirty work, then that offense just can't reach its potential, can't reach its scoring potential, can't reach its efficiency potential. And Chris Godwin's the guy. And Jason Light said at the combine, when everyone did their interviews, he goes, this is before they franchise tag him. They've been trying to ink him to a long-term deal since last year. Was like, we cannot see a future without Chris Godwin.
Okay. I'm trying to make sense of what they're doing as far as the entire receiving core.
You and me both. I remember your name. You're with us. I know you. You come to us. You caught a touchdown pass once. You can come. Yeah. And now everyone's talking about Julio Jones. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, whatever Tommy wants, Tommy gets.
Well, what do you make of the Russell Gage deal?
Chris Godwin, he tore his ACL and he might not be back beginning of the season. Probably will. Supposed to be. He's an incredibly hard worker, ruthlessly dedicated, we like to call him. And we need the three wide receiver. You saw that Buccaneers offense. If you pay close enough attention, that the difference in it to when a third top-notch wide receiver such as Antonio Brown was in there, when it was Godwin, Evans, Brown. Now Russell Gage is no Antonio Brown. I get that. Everyone gets that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying someone up to that caliber. Tyler Johnson drafted in the 4th round a couple years ago, sort of hasn't materialized. Scotty Miller, the speedster, the tiny guy, stretches the field. That's about all he does. They needed another Godwin type who can play in the slot. And what I've always liked most about Chris Godwin is he makes you tackle him. And Gage is the same way. So they're kind of like 1A, 1B, and I kind of see him interchangeable. Of course, Chris Godwin right now is a better player. But I like Gage's game, and in the Bruce Arians offense, he's going to get a chance to shine and make a lot more money because it's a 3-year deal. So, he'll be in his prime when he comes out, and he'll be. I think if everything works out, Gage will be one of those like top free agents that are on the board. Day one, here's the top free agents, top 10. Gage can be up there because I think his skill set's really going to flourish in Bruce Arians' offense.
Let's get Gonzo's question in here for you, Ren.
Sure.
Wondering if Bucs fans have faith in Kyle Trask. I believe that's his name. You spelled it incorrectly, Gonzo. It's just you can get the I out of there, but you're right there, buddy. And it's a good question. Like, is that the future at QB?
Who knows? We were about to find out. We were about to find out a week ago if he was. I think I still feel Blaine Gabbert's probably going to come back. But the Bucs have already said that Kyle Trask can have every opportunity to actually compete for the second spot, which he did not last year. What they like about Trask is he's smart and he's coachable. Okay, we all have, I guess worries, or if you put a nick on him, it's about his arm strength. They think it's plenty strong. And Kyle Trask is a guy, I'm sure, as we all heard going through the draft, last year, is a guy who's always been playing second fiddle. Did it in high school, did in college. When he got a shot in college, he blew up and became, a second-round draft pick in the NFL draft. So as of right now, yes. But I'll tell you what, like, Bucs fans were really hot and heavy on Deshaun Watson when his name came up, and any quarterback that's been proven, especially, you can make a pretty good argument, and maybe you don't have to, that Deshaun Watson is a tier 1 NFL quarterback. Anybody comes like that available, as of now, Bucs fans would rather go with a proven commodity than Kyle Trask. But as salary cap as it is right now, and the way the Bucs roster set up, yes, the future as of today, when Tom Brady leaves, is the door one is Kyle Trask.
So since you mentioned it, Deshaun Watson, he could end up right there in the NFC South. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
Atlanta's hot and heavy here. You want to take
Yeah.
a stab at a guess on what happens with Watson?
He's coming to the NFC South because everyone else is bowed out except those two. Yeah. Here's what I hope happens. Let's put it this way. I don't want him to become a Saint. Saint fans and Buck fans, we're like UNC Duke. We do not like each other. It's more fun than anything else. But like, that's the organization we love to hate. If Sean Payton's not your coach, he's not really a lovable guy. So it's easy to bounce on them. And then the tragedy of all their playoff losses, that was easy to pick up on. But they have our number. They beat us 6 times in a row in the regular season under the Bruce Arians era, and Tom Brady's 0-4 against them. So we do not like the Saints. But what I fear about the Saints is they draft really well. They do. They draft good players. So even though they're in salary cap hell, as they always have been for a decade, it seems, they're going to be able to surround people with Watson. If he goes to Atlanta, which I hope he does, it's because Atlanta doesn't draft well. And it will take longer and maybe never come to fruition. Deshaun Watson's, be able to reach his full capacity with a tier 1 coaching staff, a tier 1 roster. I just don't think it's going to happen in Atlanta because they're Atlanta.
Does anything surprise you about Watson's market right now? Because it's like he's cleared of criminal charges, and like all of a sudden the league is just, I don't want to say the league's lining up, but there's a lot of teams have expressed interest, from the Browns to the Saints to the Falcons. Right. I mean, he was tied briefly to the Niners, which I don't know if that was accurate or not, but he's been all around the league.
Yeah. No. I'm not, because I think in today's NFL, which is even different just from 10 years ago, you need a tier 1 quarterback to win the Super Bowl. You need a guy to be able to win you, put it on your back. and win the game for you. We seen Jimmy Garoppolo had the lead in the fourth, went like 3 for 11 a couple years ago, and now like no one wants him. He's trash, but all he does is win. But that's not good enough anymore. You have to have that tier one guy, and you look at his numbers and what Watts can do with his feet, and he's been like kind of like Russell Wilson, just kind of got tired of it in Seattle. It's like I have to run for my life every single game, and every single game it's always on my shoulders. And Watson has been that way, and he's won. And he won one national championship, against one of the greatest college football teams. They were the best ever, and he's went up there and just beat them right here in Tampa. So no, I'm not surprised that all the hubbub, I guess, for Watson, because at the end of the day, if you don't have the guy under center, you don't have a contender.
Right. That is the essence of NFL football right now, and that's why the quarterbacks get paid what they get paid. We can preach to the choir. Everybody knows this. But I still find it at least remotely interesting that, okay, once we're legally not liable here at all, that forget no one really cares.
All that stuff. Yeah, like NFL fans don't care about that. Like, let the league take care of that. They're gonna suspend him, probably 8 games, get knocked down to 6, and then
right, I'll be here for the playoffs. And
again, I will say, like, I don't know anything about the situation. I know sort of what he's been charged of. I don't understand it. I didn't follow the court hearing and all that. But what I will say, and I always say this when someone high profile, even like somebody I know close in my life or somebody at work, and you never want to be judged on your worst day. Now, I understand Deshaun Watson's, sort of circumstances wasn't just one day, apparently, but I enjoy being in a society where you can be forgiven for, a major screw up and not be sort of, booed out of the public square.
No, I hear you. We are second chances in life are a good thing. His situation a little bit different.
Yes,
we're talking about many. But we don't need to go down that rabbit hole of uncomfortableness any further. Let's flip back to the field and over on the defensive side. You mentioned Carlton Davis earlier. He got a 3-year deal, $45 million, 30 guaranteed. Did you think he was coming back if Brady hadn't shown back up?
I was sure hoping so. The guy that there was 2 guys that I thought were going to price themselves out. It was going to be Alex Kappa and Jordan Whitehead. And I thought those are the 2 guys the Bucs weren't really going to pursue. Both those guys left. Kappa was like the first guy off the board. As soon as that noon hit, he was like first deal. He was a guard, ended up going to Cincinnati. Our other Pro Bowl guard, Ali Marpet, Pro Bowl. He retired suddenly. So our interior of our offensive line was kind of like, ugh. And then Jensen, was a free agent, but we got him back and then we made a trade. But on the defensive side of the ball, like you were saying, Carlton Davis, I don't follow other NFL teams enough, but as a Tampa fan, Carlton Davis, I feel, is a tier 1 corner. The only reason he's not sort of thrown up there in the names is because the guy just can't catch. He cannot catch. He doesn't get the interceptions, and you get the 7 to 10 a year. You're every time someone talks about best corner in the league, your name comes out. But since he's been a starter, he has the most pass breakups in the league. And he goes up against their number 1, the other team's number 1, every single week. And I've seen him shut down DeAndre Hopkins twice. I'm talking like 2 catches, 30 yards twice. He is a shutdown corner. So with him, without him, I think the Bucs ceiling was like somewhere like 9 to 13 overall defense. And then with him, like number 1's not really out of the question, because so many more things Todd Bowles can do, the defensive coordinator can do, when you can just stick that guy out there on the island and you don't have to cover for him.
Somebody eventually will kick themselves for not hiring Todd Bowles, especially this offseason. How many coaches got hired? 7?
Mm-hmm.
Do we not think that guy doesn't deserve another chance to be a head coach? I mean, am I missing something here?
Maybe he doesn't interview well. That's kind of like the word with Eric Bieniemy. Like, everyone's like, Eric Bieniemy. And then after like 3 or 4 years of, everyone, they're up in arms and about equality and diversity in the NFL, people just started saying, look, the guy's terrible in interviews. Like, he just bombs. And that might be with Todd Bowles. And again, sort of going back, don't want to be judged on your worst day. You can't judge Todd Bowles on his head coaching with the New York Jets. No one succeeds with the Jets. It's just, it's completely unfair. So I'm glad he's back. Like, we were looking at losing both coordinators and our right-hand man to the GM. Like, they all had interviews. Like John Spytek, the second in charge here in Tampa Bay, as far as the front office goes, had an interview, I think, with Detroit. Leftwich seemed to be a lock in Jacksonville until he was like, I ain't coaching here if you keep that GM. And they chose the GM over Leftwich, went a different direction. And Bowles just seems to kind of be like the guy, the redheaded step kid that just kind of, I think last year, he had an interview with Detroit, but they had already decided to hire somebody. So he like canceled at the last minute. So, I mean, I'm happy that the other teams don't pick him but then again, it was kind of the most boneheaded defensive call you can make in that Rams game. And then it wasn't even communicated right amongst the guys. So a lot of Bucs fans are kind of like, that 2 years ago, Todd Bowles, the defense really took Tampa, got them to the Super Bowl. Offense won it. But, last year it was kind of a rocky road. We were just killed with injuries in the secondary. But so Todd Bowles is sort of like, he's not the god he once was in Tampa just because of that Rams game. But I agree. He should be somewhere.
I had forgotten for a brief moment his playoff strategy this year and that perhaps making him less sexy. Although I don't think, to your point earlier, I don't think you would be grading him on quote unquote his worst day. There's a lot of success underneath that bridge, if you will.
Agreed.
Ren, let's wrap up with this. In your mind, in the NFC, right now, today, are the Bucs the favorite?
As a Bucs fan, I would say yes. As an NFL analyzer, that's not a word. I would say no, simply because I'm kind of old school. Like, you're the champ until you're not. The Rams haven't really taken a significant step back, and Aaron Rodgers got to win a playoff game eventually, right?
Maybe.
So I think it'd be a little too bullish to say, especially because right now we have no defensive tackles. We have no starting defensive tackles. So that defense, even though there's lots of big names there, still there, Levante David, Devin White, Carlton Davis, Winfield, the safety, was highest ranked among PFF last year. Edwards, the other safety, is a ball hawk. Like, we got, Vita Vea, long-term contract, Shaq Barrett. Like, you hear all those names, like, oh my God, you're loaded. We have no defensive tackles. Will Golson and Ndamukong Suh are not signed. The guys behind them, one of them's not signed. Like, we have nobody. So it'd kind of be foolish for me. I know the spots are going to get filled, but until they do, I'm going to stick with the Rams, because you got to beat the champ to be the champ.
Wrap it up here. Gonzo, I see you, by the way. Appreciate all your notifications, chats today. But rewinding all the way back to Darius Smith and that situation, I have no idea what happened with his 4-year, $35 million deal with Baltimore, and all of a sudden he decides he doesn't want to play for the Ravens. Ren, you have any thoughts on that one? That was really bizarre.
I followed free agency day one, and that was about it. And then I got kind of got burnt out on it. I didn't know. This is the first I've heard of this. There's something about the Ravens I just don't like. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's their uniforms. It's not their fan base. I like their coach. I like the quarterback. I kind of like their philosophy, the way they go about it. But there's something about it. Maybe because, like, it's still like, I liked Ray Lewis's ability, but I didn't like how he was preaching to me every single time he spoke. Like, calm down, Oprah. I don't need a life lesson. You're just ordering breakfast.
What about my guy Ed Reed?
I love Ed Reed. I loved Ed Reed, So I don't know why. This kind of makes me happy this fell through. But, same thing happened to Dallas a couple days ago, didn't it?
Sure.
Yeah. So, I'm a Bucs fan. Sorry, I guess, Ravens, whatever. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I can't speak intelligently on what Darius Smith is thinking.
And neither, I don't think anybody else can either, which is why I asked it. So you were just as qualified as the rest of the NFL world right now when something like that goes down. Ren,
yes,
always good to see you. I love the brim of the hat. I love the flag. You're always bringing it. The Pewtercast is awesome.
Appreciate it.
So keep her rolling. And hey, no nightmares allowed right now. You're back in the mix. You're right there.
Oh yeah, it's as I said, it's down to 3 teams. It's good to be a Bucs fan. This last week it was, oh, so what are we gonna do? But yeah, like all the pins are up and we're ready to go.
Hey, ride it as long as you can here, and then rebuild that thing, and you'll be back there in no time. Let's go super positive. Thanks for watching Stack in the Box, everybody. Gonzo, you the man. Sean and the rest of you out there, thank you. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications so you know when we're coming back on. We'll be back for sure next Tuesday, 11 o'clock Central. Verderam will be here with his Verderamingness to the full max. Let's go with that. And on that note, we will see you next time on Stack in the Box.